Good morning. Welcome to Bing TV.
Morning. How's everybody?
I'm good.
Good.
I'm good. I'm borderline bitter. I'm pissed a little bit.
Been a weird 2 weeks
A
since
little
we
bit.
shot the last video, huh?
I'm a little bit livid, man. I don't like this type of stuff going on in our marketplace.
Yeah.
I take offense to it. What are we specifically talking about? About 2 weeks ago, everything was fine and dandy. All the problems in our country were happening away from our marketplace. You know, in the East Coast, the financial market, real estate market, whatever. The technology, the software sector was relatively untouched. You know, people were beginning to hear whispers of problems, whispers of maybe advertising reducing their spend in the social networking and online world, whatnot. Whispers of VCs or money pipeline running dry, and then one Monday morning, was that the day the stock market crashed?
Yeah. Well, no. Was it Monday?
It was right after the debacle in the financial world.
I've lost
right?
track of which day it crashed, which day it spiked, and then which day it crashed and spiked again.
Pretty much for every two crashes, it's a spike.
Yeah, it was kind of like where we're at right now.
But it was right after. I think it was the Monday right after the bailout, right after the federal bailout was approved.
Yeah.
That Monday, the stock market crashed, went down like the biggest one-day drop in the history of our country,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yep.
Anyways, stock market crashes. All of a sudden, our entire market goes into a panic, and Sequoia, one of the more marquee, more notable, kind of king of the hill VC firm, holds an all CEO meeting and puts forth this memo, and then nothing has been the same ever since.
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of founding exists to give startups and companies in our marketplace the the material to make these kinds of decisions besides this memo, but here we are nonetheless, and all sorts of wacky stuff is going on in our market.
Do you feel like you're living in the world of Chicken Little? Like the sky is falling, the sky is falling. Like I don't know. It seems like companies that were set for cash, could have not made a dime for 2.5+ years, are now all of a sudden worried about making payments 6 months from now. Like what happened to the whole idea of we were being told we're good for 2 years. Like you can tell everybody you're recruiting for us that you don't have to worry about us as far as stability wise goes. We could never get another drop of funding in 2 years from now. We'll still be able to maintain ourselves. And now all of a sudden companies are freaking out because they're worried about making payments 6 months from now and not being able to raise capital in 6 months.
Yeah.
Things just
or even now
things don't add up.
Yeah, or even we're good for 2 years, but we think if we fire half our team and only focus on this one specific core and not grow, then we might be able to stretch it out to 3. So it's all of a sudden it's gone from go big and either go big, go home, make a successful exit, put a damper on our competitors' dreams. It's gone from that, which seems to be the fundamental premise of a startup, fundamental premise of why VCs invest in companies. Yeah, build that billion-dollar business. It seems to have gone from that to become profitable right now, stay lean, mean, and 3, survive, which is fine, I think, for a traditional business, for maybe like a mom and pop business. I hate to say it, but a small business that needs to survive in order to pay bills and make ends meet. But I don't really see that. That seems so counter to even the purpose of a startup.
Yeah. It seems like everybody really has lost focus on the go big or go home. They've hit this nuclear winter for some reason. That there doesn't seem to be, the companies that are 6 months from needing another round of funding. All right, fine, I get it. The credit market looks a little shaky right now. It may be a little harder to come by venture capital for the next 3, 6 months, maybe even out to a year. But everybody bunkering down just makes no sense.
Yeah, and having no reason for it besides this.
Yeah.
What is it? Okay, the stock market crashed. Now everyone's predicting that there's not going to be more money down the road unless you're profitable. I've never met anyone that can predict the future. Have you guys ever met anyone?
I haven't.
You haven't, right?
No.
And what bothers me about this entire thing is it's just that herd mentality. The herd was all going big, was all raising money, was all trying to make a name for itself. And now the herd has moved into, we got to be profitable, we got to be core, we got to this, we got to that. And then in 6 months and 12 months, when the hype dies down, when the VC market will begin to open up, when walls will begin to open up, the herd will then pick their heads up out of the sand and then begin to move in whatever direction. So it's that perpetual rat race.
I was talking to one of my clients yesterday, and I was showering praise upon them because they did it the smart way. They said, you know what, we're going to make some little changes here and there to make sure that we are spending our money as effectively as possible. But frankly, we realize right now that everybody else is going to go into bunker down mode, and that if we can continue to go big but be smart doing it, and like really count our pennies while we're still going big, they're like, we are going to run past people. And I can, like I said, I was almost gloating on them a little bit, to the point where I was like, wow, you guys get it. Like, you understand how to take advantage of, I look at this like as a great opportunity for a company that can realize that, hey, we were still set for 2 years. Like, okay, we probably need to be careful. Let's count our paper clips and such to some extent, but there's no reason to stop going big, stop taking advantage.
Oh, yeah.
I saw a couple of companies made purchases of other companies.
Right now,
just
bargain basement deals right now.
Bargain basement deals. It's like buying stocks right now.
Yeah.
I'm making calls to my broker every day because they're phenomenal prices.
That's right.
Take a long-term vision.
Yeah, that's what they should do right now. I mean, while prices are down, companies that are smart and have money saved up are going to be buying other companies, going to be acquiring talent. So right now is the time to like go big and then make it successful. Like, if that's kind of the premise and the goal of the whole plan is to either get good talent or go public. Well, I don't know if you want to go public, but get acquired right now. Hell, you'll get bought in a second for the smart companies that can see that your company's worthwhile.
Right. Make no mistake about it. From a recruiting perspective, a lot of people are like, oh, you guys have to be worried. Oh, you guys have to be like, I bet all your clients went into a hiring freeze mode. Make no mistake about it. We have clients that are hiring. We have clients, and we know companies that are absolutely looking. Our mission right now in life is to align ourselves with the companies that are hiring and absolutely raid those companies that are in bunker down mode right now.
Exactly.
Because who the hell wants to work for a bunker down company?
Yeah.
No one graduates from Stanford and has that like mission of wanting to change the world, and then wants to stay in like survival mode, nuclear winter. Especially when they see other companies trying to make a name for themselves, trying to like do something big. Everyone wants to change the world. Everyone wants to make an impact. Everyone wants to accelerate.
It's completely counterproductive to the reason of joining a startup. If I want to go work for a company that's just going to be stable, pay me well, and give me my paycheck, I can do some cool things, I'll go to work for a big Fortune 500 company. There's plenty of cool stuff to do there. You go to a startup to change the world.
Yeah, startups should not be preaching survival right now. I mean, it just doesn't, those two words don't make sense. Mom and pop businesses that are having a tough time attracting customers preach survival.
Yeah.
I just don't see it with a startup.
I was going to say, like, you have perfect examples. Like one of my clients, for instance, they haven't shown profitability yet. They're looking to get another round of funding in 6 months. So they're one of the companies that is in a little bit of a weird spot. But what they're doing is they're actually hiring for the people that are actually going to make them profitable, to build the technology to take them into that world where they can get profitable.
So maybe adjust the line, but please don't close the doors and like take this as fact. I've heard people say this is a marketing ploy. This is a pure marketing ploy to scare the fuck out of all the other companies, to like screw the market, and then let them kind of quietly, strategically kind of go along their business.
Any smart firm has to realize right now that there's a ton of opportunity out there. Are there a lot of pitfalls? Absolutely. Are there a lot of hurdles? Absolutely. Are things going to be a little hairy? Absolutely. But can you make a ridiculous amount of headway while your competitors are all sticking their head in the sand and bunkering down? Absolutely.
Yep. 90%. What percent of the market right now is on the sidelines waiting for something to happen?
I think the interesting thing is probably like it's 50-50 right now. Like a lot of companies are going, oh crap, and a lot of companies are still going, we think we can really do this, and it'll be interesting to see which way the masses really swing. Will they swing towards, let's go big, let's continue to push, but be careful, or are they going to go into, oh my god, the sky is falling, the sky is falling?
Yeah. The companies that are doing good, a perfect example is like Google's. They released their earnings yesterday in the midst of like the stock market being complete crap, blew away earnings reports, and they're still doing amazing.
Yeah.
But nobody's like taking heed of it, And they're one of the companies that are still going like, in a sense, balls to the wall and still doing their everyday thing.
Yeah.
It's proven good to them. So.
No, it's they're a great example. Apple, which everybody thought would collapse. And this, they're above average price. They tend to be considered like a luxury good in the kind of like the software world. They're still like their profits are still climbing. Like they tanked out of the gate, but because everybody thought they'd fall apart, but then they start talking numbers and profitability and things, and everything looks good for Q3. They're another company that's going to seem to be continue to be competitive in this atmosphere.
Yeah, I buy the stuff.
So there are a lot of companies out there, and there has been a lot of noise in our market. Companies that are getting funded that just have the most ridiculous business models. God knows why they got the funding in the first place. They will go away.
Sure.
100% they'll go in, and they should go away. There's way too much noise in our marketplace. But please, the companies that that are doing well, that do have a sustainable business, that do have a solid product, that are making headway with the customers, don't stop right now. I imagine this all just shaking out, fading itself out of the kind of public eye. And if you stall right now, I think you'll lose.
Seems like it could even like prevent a real true next bubble. Like it may actually kind of help float some of that out and sort
I've
it out
heard that
without a
before,
huge
too.
crash having to happen.
I've heard that before, Tim.